talk more about this terrible insurance situation, we're bringing in Stanley, a CEO of the California Restaurant Mutual Benefit Corp and attorney. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us more about this. We're hearing about this catastrophic situation where these insurance companies have dropped fire coverage from thousands of policies in the years leading up to this. Is this even legal, and how did this happen?
These are for-profit insurance companies. And so if they can't make a profit, they're going to leave the area. And that's exactly what happened. And it's legal. They don't have to keep doing business in California. Is it ethical? No. I mean, I run a nonprofit insurance company, so we don't do things like this. But a traditional insurance company is in it to make money.
What can homeowners and business owners...
It's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's going to happen again and continue. What can homeowners and business owners do if their fire coverage was dropped? I mean, are they simply out of luck? Is there an appeals process?
There's not an official appeals process, but ultimately what's going to happen when they're going to first try to get state assistance, FEMA assistance, but if they don't have insurance, they're not going to get insurance coverage. And even what we find and what we've seen across the country in other natural disasters is that even when people have insurance, most of the time they don't have the insurance that they think they have, and they're underinsured. So even people that have insurance are going to be damaged by this. So what's their recourse? Eventually this is going to be lawsuits left and right, because people are going to have no other options, and insurance companies are going to end up settling these lawsuits, and the only people that are going to win are the attorneys that get to fight the lawsuits.
We just heard our Mills Hayes reporting on this. So we see California now, the state banning insurance companies from canceling or not renewing policies for homeowners affected by the wildfires for 1 year. But this doesn't help people who didn't have fire coverage or were underinsured or were dropped before this, right?
No, it's like calling the fire department after the house is already burned to the ground. It's too little, too late. This should have been handled before this, when that many thousands of people were dropped, in the last year. Something should have happened before this. Someone dropped the ball here. And even this moratorium is still, it's not what people think it is. Even though they're not allowed to leave the state, they're still underinsured. So even in these places that they still have to have the insurance, there's nothing that I've seen in the mandate that says you have to insure at a certain level, or, all of the things that are going to leave people high and dry, even if they had insurance. So for example, if you don't have a guaranteed replacement value in your insurance, and your valuation was done 12 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, then your valuation has completely changed. So what it would cost to rebuild it today is completely different than what it would have cost 15 years ago. And then you're also going to be rebuilding with thousands of other people, and there's going to be a labor shortage, there's going to be a materials shortage, and some of these policies even have a limitation that says you have to rebuild within a certain number of years in order to get your coverage at all. And when you're trying to rebuild along with thousands of other people, that's just not possible.
Yeah, this is such a mess of epic proportions. I want to ask, because we've been hearing pieces of advice. For example, if it's safe to do so, try to take a quick video of everything in your home, even opening the drawers, to help have an inventory of what will be lost. To not accept that initial offer from insurance, because it's really the beginning of a negotiation. I've also heard be nice to your adjuster, because they really can be your advocate. Do you have any specific pieces for advice for these residents or any Americans who will be going through something like this?
It's going to be really hard. My advice for people that, even if you're not in a natural disaster area, you need to go and check your coverage now. I'm a CEO of an insurance company and an attorney, and we checked our coverage when this happened, and we found out that we were underinsured. Our valuation was not correct. So I'm telling everybody, you need to go call your broker, call your agent, check your policy, make sure that you have coverage that includes the guaranteed valuation, but also includes ordinance changes. So the other thing is, if you built your house 20 years ago or 50 years ago, now to rebuild now, there might be completely different ordinance and expectations that are double the cost of rebuilding. If you don't have insurance that covers that, that becomes your expense. So that's my advice to everybody. Go look at your policy now. Talk to your agent now.
Kyle, last question for you. What needs to happen so that the insurance industry can't just pick and choose, especially as natural disasters and just become more common and more severe?
So the problem is there's this ripple effect. We're going to see it for decades. It's not this isn't going to be a quick fix. The insurance companies are in it to make money, and there's a new thing that the insurance commissioner did also next year, requiring that if any insurance company does any business in the state, they can't just cherry pick the lines of coverage that are profitable. They also have to include fire, which is appropriate, it should have always been that way, but now look at what happened because it wasn't that way. So that's one of the things that has to happen. But the ripple effect of this is that they're going to have to go to their reinsurer to get insurance, and then their rates are going to go up for the reinsurance. So what happens is the insurance company covers it up to a certain amount, and then the reinsurance covers it after that. The reinsurance rates with this billions of dollars of exposure, it's going to go up through the roof. So then the regular rates are going to go up. Then the insurance company is going to still need to profit because it's for profit. So then they're going to go to try to recoup their money in other ways. So we're going to see insurance go up across every state in the country because they have to recoup their money.
What needs to happen here? I mean, we have a new president coming in 9 days. Is it on the federal level that there need to be mandates and there needs to be change industry-wide?
Yes, there needs to be changes industry-wide. I mean, one of the other things, there's just going to be market forces. So hopefully the federal government is going to do something to try to, assist with these ripple effects that I'm talking about that are going to be felt in every single state economics. But the states also have a lot of power on this too, because they're the ones that are dictating how an insurance company is doing business in their state. So yes, there has to be a lot of reform.
For those who had lost their homes, how long are you expecting it'll take to rebuild in these communities? Are we talking about a couple of years?
I think it's going to be decades. And I looked at other fire areas or natural disaster areas, and a lot of them, the people took the insurance money and sold and left. So and then someone else came in to rebuild, and that happened a lot in New Jersey during the Sandy hurricanes, and so we're expecting to see a lot of that here because the rebuilding it's going to be an unbelievable, codes have changed there. It's going to be just decades.
So Kaya, as people are looking at their own plans and wondering what's going on here, what do they need to be looking for?
The biggest thing is the guaranteed replacement cost. And even though I'm giving this advice, I want to say to people, some people still can't even get that insurance. There's some places that, like in the areas that we're talking about, no one would sell them insurance. So they went and got insurance on the fair market, which is the state's, like they call it, the insurance of last resort, because it's not good. It's high premiums and then low benefit.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.